I got no camera from you. There we go.
Go check this out.
More tech decks. Nice. Reeb sent me a DM the other day where he was messing with tech decks.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're at Target, and I saw this pack, but there's another pack in front of it, and it's a bunch of flip boards. You remember that
Okay.
company?
Yeah.
Oh, sick! These ones are all white. And I was looking at it, and then I looked down, and I didn't even pay attention to that at first because I already bought the Enjoy pack,
Mm-hmm.
all new ones.
A whole completely different Enjoy pack.
Mm-hmm. I was
Wow.
like,
All right.
that's my favorite brand.
There you go.
Yeah, and then I picked up. We were at Walmart. I got a blind deck, and then I got a habitat deck.
Yeah. All right. So you're in South Carolina now. Are you gonna get a skateboard?
I have a skateboard.
I mean, are you gonna skateboard more?
No, probably less because it's hot.
Mm,
I might skate in the winter.
there you go.
Um, Actually, the winter would be great to skate down here because everyone here thinks it's freezing cold outside,
Yep.
so I
And
could
you're
have
gonna
the spots to myself.
get all sweaty.
Yeah. Actually, I'm in the process of looking for a BMX bike for like real.
Dope, dude.
So I think I'm gonna try and get into BMX.
Yeah, I'm working on getting a bike so I can start training for my bucket list vacation that I want to do, which is a multi-state backpacking bike trip. Maybe
Come
see
on,
if I can get a couple people interested in doing it as well, and we can like fly into
it's the danger zone.
just like all fly into the same spot.
Just start
What's
in
up,
Ohio.
Bibble? Well, not, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, say if Jay were in, for example, we could fly into LAX and go from like there to Seattle.
I feel like there's good trails from where we are south.
Yeah, or like start in Texas and then go from like Dallas to LA or something like that through New Mexico and shit.
You want to bike across Texas? The hell is wrong with
Could,
you?
could you imagine running into that windstorm that we ran into when I was moving?
Yeah. Or just like the fact that there's nothing around forever. But then
Yeah.
again, I bet you people from Texas are like, you want to bike through the Midwest? What if you get lost in the woods? There's
Right.
trees everywhere. How will you know which direction you're
Mm.
going?
I just think it'd be dope to like bike all day, find a small town, grab some beer and some like wood or something like that, set up camp for the night, get up, get breakfast, and then hop on your bike again and go. Like pack up your tent.
Bill, what do you think about this?
I think Bibble is in and wants to do this week long bike backpacking trip.
Oh, dude, actually, Bibble, since you're here, um, do you want to hang out with me in real life? Because I don't have any friends down here, and you're like the closest person to me that I know. I'm in the Greenville, like Greenville, Spartanburg kind of area in South Carolina. I feel like you're like, I don't even know where that's at. I can't read chat. Oh, duh, I'm stupid. I'm looking at the Twitch stream being like, I can't read the chat, and I literally have it popped out.
Oh, there you go. All right, Scott. Let's. You want to just start?
Bibble, I feel like I should not have phrased that as I don't have any friends, so let's hang out. Um, I actually think that you're a cool person, so let's hang out.
Wow, shots fired.
Yeah, I know. Dog, let's meet up. Even if you You want to meet up in the middle or something? I don't know what's in the middle. I just got here.
The Georgia South Carolina state line.
That the FGL, the Florida Georgia line.
Gross.
I have family in Florida now.
Wait, you
They
do?
moved. Yeah, they moved the same weekend as us.
Who?
Uh, Lauren's oldest brother and his wife
Oh,
and their
nice.
kids. Dude, Bibble, we will be in the DMs. All right.
Let's clap and get this thing going.
Yeah.
It's gonna be rough waking up tomorrow as it is.
Dude, you're telling me I got to wake up earlier than I normally do because I got to get gas.
Oh damn.
Yeah. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right.
I'm so thoroughly entertained watching my cat try and get under this baby gate because like she can get her head through, but it's like she's standing on the stair below it.
Mm,
So she did it. That
wow.
was entertaining. That
Success.
was, yeah, I'm so glad that it worked. That's gonna be all up in that recording. Okay.
Somewhere.
Oh, let Scott know
Let's got know what.
that we're like
Oh,
starting.
gotcha.
Hey Bibble, if we hang out, if we're friends, I mean I have college friends.
Hey, no, because he's the teacher.
Teacher's pet, that's me. That makes it sound weird and sexual, and I'm not upset about it.
Right. Cat butthole on the stream. There we go.
It's against the TOS.
It is.
All right. Where did you put that?
Put what?
The message to Scott, did you just direct it to him specifically?
It's in our. It's in
Okay.
general.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, listeners. This is Barely ADS, the show where we shoot from the hip. I'm your host, Ben Malone, and with me tonight is Xanafan711 and any minute now, Slapshot Scott.
Hey.
Hey. If you didn't know, we stream the show every week live at twitch.tv/BarelyADS on Thursday nights, somewhere between 10 and midnight God's time. Look for the notification. Look,
Yeah.
we have real lives. We have stuff going on. Sometimes it starts at different times. Get out of here, cat. See? Real life. Band of the Week this week is brought to you by Ears, because without ears, you couldn't hear it. Apologies to the deaf, but this is a podcast. So,
Yep.
Hey, that band of the week is Washers. You can find them at washers.bandcamp.com. And I was listening to it earlier, and it reminds me of like a modern take on like the Clash and the Ramones. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to get your things on the show, emails, questions, anything like that, maybe even your band, head on over to twitter.com/barelyads or send us an email to barelyaddestinyshow@gmail.com or go to our website, barelyads.com. I'm not sure if our Discord issue from the website has been resolved yet, but you could always get a hold of us on any of those other methods and we'll let you in.
Yeah.
DMs are open on Twitter or just add us. It's easy. We will pin a Discord link to our Twitter for the time being.
That's a good call. Should do
It's a good idea. I'm doing see, real life. Figure stuff out as we go.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, go over to YouTube and search BarelyADS no spaces. Give us a subscribe so that way we can get the /BarelyADS and say something else during this.
Yeah.
Are you mad that this takes too long? Go to YouTube and do that.
We
It
need
won't take as
60
long.
more. We're up to 40. When we started this campaign, we were at 7. So we're getting there.
Slowly but surely.
Indeed. Don't
And
call me Shirley.
listeners, I see the numbers. Okay, I know there's more than 100 of you that listen to the show. Just do it, please.
Yes.
Also, if you want some bonus content, you can go to patreon.com/BarelyADS. I do understand that we're behind, but well, how many times can we say it tonight? It's real life, baby. That's
Yep.
the way it goes.
And we got some
Hey,
ideas. We got a lot of
yeah.
ideas that are good, I
Um,
think.
and then if you wouldn't mind, tell a friend about this podcast. It would help us out a lot more than giving us an iTunes review. But still, we do love our iTunes reviews, 5 stars only. Yeah, if you're playing with somebody who plays, video games, you're like, hey, you listen to podcasts? I know it's a pretty quaint podcast.
Quaint.
Yeah, it's like this restaurant I went to where like everything on the menu was like $5, and then they brought it out and like it's just a good old home cooked food. You know what I mean, Scott?
Yeah,
What up?
Just good old home cooked food. It's so good,
it is so good.
like
Hey,
a family restaurant.
let's clap.
All right.
All right, 1, 2, 3.
Good
Like,
old
my
family
camera worked first
restaurant.
shot this time. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's tight.
I
We're
didn't have
just
to
getting
restart.
done with the housekeeping, so you missed the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Hey, the band of the week this week, Scott. They're called Washers. Washers.bandcamp.com.
Okay.
Listeners, you already heard this, but you got to listen to it twice.
Yep.
They sound like kind of like the Clash and the Ramones, but like modern. It's pretty cool.
That sounds awesome. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, I listened to it, and you were the first person that popped into my head. I was like, Scott will love this. Did we miss anything? Oh yes, new segment, listener game reviews. It's a segment where you send us your review of a game, long or short, right or wrong. We'll read it on this segment, or send us an audio clip, and we'll just play it.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
yeah, I got a game review, but that's coming up in a little bit. Wanted to tell you guys South Carolina is kind of balancing out because we're talking about Patreon. So we're starting to get rid of the boxes. It's starting to feel like a place where we can actually, feel at home. So
It's pretty
yeah,
awesome.
and work is pretty cool. I have to say,
Nice.
it's
That's good to hear, man.
Nice.
you know those jobs where you could literally watch YouTube the entire time you're at work? It's
Yeah.
it's not one of those. But it does have like probably 3 hours a day where I can do that, which is really nice because I've been getting back into podcasts and I can watch like video podcasts and stuff now. So it's been really
That's
cool.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, just
That's
throw on
what's
some
up.
headphones. Like there's a little bit of busy work every day, which is nice.
Right.
So it's a long way of saying, guys, I'm going to start listening to your podcasts again.
Good.
It's been a while, like
It's been a
Stained.
while.
Do we want? Let's talk about what we've been playing real quick.
All right.
Well, Scott, I want to start with you. Have you been playing anything? You've been playing more Titanfall or Borderlands?
I actually am off the Titanfall train for now. I'll probably still play it like a couple matches on the short nights that I don't have a ton of time to play. But that Borderlands DLC they announced and the Borderlands 3 stuff that I've been listening to and checking out, which I'm sure we can talk about a little later if you guys want, unless you want to get into some of it now. Man, it sounds awesome. So I've been sort of getting ready to gear up and start leveling up my PS4 character for Borderlands 2, the Handsome Collection. Get through all the DLCs, max my level, and then go after the new DLC. Saw the
So have you
preview
played
stream
any of
for
the
it.
new DLC?
No, I haven't. I haven't even been able to turn on my PlayStation this week. I'm so busy. It's just crazy with work and everything, like you said, So,
Yeah.
but yeah, dude, it looks really good. Everybody I know is like super hyped. Like we got back on Destiny last week, me and Gray Fox and Sire. We played a little bit.
And then
Just
that
running.
happened.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually got Gray Fox to play Titanfall. He wasn't feeling it, which is kind of funny. But in fairness, that game does take a lot of adjustment because the pilot movement.
Oh yeah, dude. That game
like
is no joke to try and get into.
Yeah, it's a real steep drop to get into it. Like the pilot
Especially
movement,
like
everything's so fast, and then you switch to the mech move, like the Titan movement, and it's so weird and slow.
I feel like that's a game where you have to play the campaign first to understand. Like
Yeah.
that's like enough practice to be able to play multiplayer and not
Yep.
be insta killed.
Yeah. No, that's what I was telling him because we started out playing Frontier Defense, and he tried out a couple different Titans, and he wasn't really feeling either of them. And I was like, dude, you gotta. It's something you gotta work at. Like if you're not feeling it. The worst part though of it was like we queued up, and usually when I play Frontier Defense, I'm like bottom of the map or bottom of the second or third, sometimes fourth. I'm never real. I'm never top. I'm never around MVP. I don't know what it was last Friday, whether it was just people not having thumbs in the queues or whatever. But I got round MVP for Frontier Defense like 4 times. I was like top of the leaderboard every single match, and like he was right behind me. So
Yeah.
having being the first time he's ever played that game, being we didn't have like good teammates, it was kind of rough. But I
Oh, I
mean,
thought you meant you were doing well.
no, well, I mean, I was kind of, I mean, like, there's a couple of rounds where I was playing out of my mind. I just remember everything was like lining up. You get the second round of Frontier Defense and Titan. You drop your Titan in, and like I just had this one hallway locked down with the Legion, uh, and I'm just sitting there with the Predator cannon spun up, waiting, and like 4 nuke Titans and a bunch of like stalkers and like other enemies just kind of file into that hallway blindly. Somebody pops an electric smoke so they can't see you, and I'm just like, well, game on, fellas. And I just laid into him with the Predator cannon, and just like you saw like 4 Titans explode like one after the other going down the row. And I want to say I got 2 smart cores out of that hallway exchange alone. And then there was one nuke Titan. It was another Legion that got pretty close to me. I was able to pop the gun shield and then sort of back off, reload, and then give him the I forget what the name of it is, but it's like the shotgun blast where you hold your R1 button and it charges up, and then just basically one powerful. I think it's power shot. One powerful shot fires, and I unlocked the perk where close range ones, when you hit them with that, it sends them to final stand. So like this Legion nuke Titan was up in my face, and I just freaking like shotgunned him, and he went down. It was so awesome. I felt so like professional. It was ridiculous.
So
Nice.
let's let's get the Borderlands out of the way already.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That we got more information about Borderlands 3. But I'm more so want to hear about this DLC because they announced a new DLC for Borderlands 2 after all this time, which
Yep.
is really
Yeah.
cool. I've always
It's
wished that they would do that kind of stuff. So
it's
what do you know about it?
well,
Give me 3
it's
elevator pitches.
Yes.
all right.
Not that short.
I don't know about this really. I know it happened, but I don't know any details yet.
It's
All right.
Commander Lilith.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Commander Lilith and the Battle for Sanctuary. So what's going on is um, they're releasing this obviously to hype everyone for Borderlands 3 coming out in September, right? Because Borderlands 2, I mean, would that came out in like 2011 or something like that, and it's definitely um, definitely one of those games where it's been a little while. So if you're not, you know, consistently going back and playing with a bunch of your friends, you kind of like remember you're like, oh yeah, that game was really fun. I wonder what happened. They released a new DLC, and it's to hype everybody for Borderlands 3 in September. It's going to be Commander Lilith and the Battle for Sanctuary, which is what like we just said. And they have a pretty good trailer that came out with it. And basically, this new enemy, this new group of enemies, sort of attacks Sanctuary. And the reason we don't know that yet. But it's funny because, of course, in the trailer, it starts off like the games with Marcus, and he's talking about how, what happened to the Vault Hunters after, the death of Handsome Jack and the fall of Hyperion. And he said, well, the Vault Hunters turned their eyes to the stars. So they basically started looking outside other star systems, and they're chasing down other vaults and stuff. And Marcus says, but sometimes when you're busy looking ahead, sometimes you forget to watch your back. And so this like crazy, he looks like a plant mutant enemy,
Okay.
possibly a cultist. I don't know. He kind of looked dressed up in the same sort of getup as the enemies from Borderlands 3. He's got a bunch of plant like, I don't know what to call it. There's like green, you know, things, and a bunch of the new enemies they showed were plant based, I think. So that is, as far as I know. And basically in the trailer you see Lilith. She says like, the city's under attack, all civilians evacuate, and then you see all the Vault Hunters, the whole crew from Borderlands 2, and then Brick, Mordecai, and Lilith from Borderlands 1, as well as Ellie and like some of the other NPCs, like getting ready to throw down. So it looks like it's going to be pretty awesome.
I'm stoked. Let me know when you get in there, and well, let the listeners know when you get in there and get to play more of it, or some of it. I shouldn't say more of it. I misspoke. See, everybody, it's real life. I played some games. Steve, did you play some games though?
I did. I played, the usual suspects, a little bit of EverQuest, like level 34 now in the saga of my tiny berserker. And I've been playing a lot of Dauntless still. Like, I'm just having a ton of fun playing Dauntless. So, yeah, get in there. It's a ton of fun. Played some Overwatch as well. The event's over, sadly, but it's still a ton of fun. And then this week I intend to get more Assassin's Creed Odyssey in, so I'm stoked on that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I really normally we don't talk about this stuff when we have technical issues, but Scott says may have to restart Discord or murder a cat, which is hilarious.
Yeah, as long as he didn't stop recording.
Nope, I didn't. I'm back.
Hey, and he can
Okay,
hear us again.
good.
We're good. Yeah.
All right,
I don't
Steve.
know what happened there, but
I
go
don't know,
ahead.
man. The internet's a weird thing. It's real life, baby.
But yeah, Dauntless, like, I've just been having a ton of fun grinding and making a build. I made a build that's got a ton of the perk Knockout King, where I deal extra stagger damage, and I use almost exclusively big ass hammers that you can charge. You can, like, the special ability is that you can charge each individual swing with it, so it hits pretty hard. I like it. It's fun.
That's
cool.
awesome. I'm all about hammers, man. You know that.
Yeah, dude. Big ass
So
hammers.
I think last week I talked about I had picked up Uncharted Lost Legacy and the like PlayStation VR and Skyrim VR. And I think at that point I had only played the freaking VR London Heist game. So since then I did play some Skyrim VR. The novelty wore off super fast.
Yep. And then it's just like, okay, I'm playing Skyrim again.
Yeah, that was kind of like, I was like, this is really cool. This is really cool. Do I want to play Skyrim again? So I think I'm gonna trade that one in and try and pick up Fallout 4 VR. Especially because my dad's really into Fallout, so we can just nerd out together and be like,
Nice.
"Oh, this
That's
is really
awesome.
sweet." And the cool thing about that is, in Fallout VR, you can turn the guns around, so like you can see angles of the gun that you've actually never seen before.
Oh, that's
Nice.
pretty cool.
At some point, I need to get my wife onto this show because she's been playing so much VR. She beat Super Hot this week, and she's just like cleaning house on every VR game.
That's awesome.
So I want to get her on here to talk about it.
Do it.
I think it'd be fun. And then I started and finished Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Nice.
And
how was it?
okay, Steve, you played Uncharted 4, right?
Yeah, I have the Uncharted 4 Special Edition PS4 that I love very, very much, and that game was amazing.
You can nah, I forget if we don't live next to each other. You cannot borrow Uncharted Lost Legacy. Um, but you should pick it up. It's been out long enough that I picked it up for like $20, and it's Uncharted 4. It's probably about 20 to 25 hours, which is
Okay.
nice. It's a shorter game. Actually, we probably beat it in less than that. I was doing a lot of searching around. There's like a optional side quest that I blew a couple hours on.
Yeah.
Um, but it it up until the end, I was like, yeah, this is like it's fine, but it doesn't have those really like awesome high action moments that Uncharted 4 had. You know, like
Yeah.
if anyone's played Uncharted 4, the scene where you're like taking a jeep down like some mountain in Brazil, and it's like through like this city and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like it's really sweet, and then like you end up hopping from truck to truck, and at one point you're like have a rope and you're that's attached to a truck that's like speeding through the mud, and you're like pulling yourself up on it, and like
Yeah, it's
there's
it,
this.
it's Indiana Jones straight up if Indiana Jones were a licensed game made by
Oh,
Naughty
it
Dog.
just so funny. I was playing it, and right now I'm staying with my parents, and my mom walks in the room, and she's like, looks at it for maybe 10 seconds, and she goes, "So it's Indiana Jones with a girl?" I was like,
Nice.
"Yep, that's
Yeah.
what I'm playing."
And that's the
But this,
fantasy you want though. Like it's exactly what you want to
well,
play, it just the way the gameplay rolls out and the story. The
I don't know. Uncharted 4 is a much better game.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
This game came out, and I think it was $40 on release.
Yeah.
So like already it's a shorter game, and they definitely are just reusing as many assets as possible from Uncharted 4.
Oh,
Like for
okay.
instance, when you beat the game, you get additional costumes, and a lot of them are just skins from Uncharted 4.
So it's the Far Cry method.
Yeah,
But
which is
I mean,
fine.
yeah, it's
But
fine.
it lacked a lot of those cool action sequences. I mean, it's a completely new map, but also didn't, you know, Uncharted 4 went more places than this did. This
Oh
is like
yeah.
very singular. You're in India the whole time,
Now,
and
since we're talking about kind of Uncharted 4, what was your favorite mission in Uncharted 4?
oh, the thing where you're hopping from jeep to jeep.
Oh yeah. Mine was
Yeah,
when
That
you're
sounds like a
like
blast.
playing spy and you're like at that gala in
yeah.
the
See, and
tux.
those are those cool moments that Uncharted 4 had, but like this just doesn't have them.
Yeah.
Like Scott, you would have loved this the jeep sequence because basically, as the jeep takes damage, it's gonna explode. So you can only stay and like be driving the jeep for so long before you have to
Right.
jump to another one.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and it's just a ton of that. And if there was a really cool scene at the end, that basically used that same mechanic but incorporated a train as well. So you're
Nice.
like jumping from jeep to
That's
jeep and then back on the train, and then like the train has like posts sticking out that you can attach your rope to and like swing. So sometimes you'd be at like the back of a train car, you'd like jump off the side, attach your grappling hook, and like swing around into like the open box car. And like that
that's
was
awesome. That's such an
it's
awesome action sequence.
but it was a
Yeah.
thing where like as I'm kind of putting this review together in my head, I'm like there was like no good action sequences, and then like that's just like the last thing you do is like a cool action sequence, but then it's over. And the shooting in this feels bad.
Does it?
Like it feels really bad. I mean, maybe it's just me getting used to this big TV and not playing console games for a long time, but like I was dying a ton, and I don't die like that much in video games. You know, like story games, I usually don't have a problem with getting murked.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It felt like it wasn't balanced correctly or something like that, or like just like weird stuff would happen, and like the controls got a little janky where I'd be trying to take cover and wouldn't be able to do it, and end up like rolling out of cover and just get shot with, a bunch of stuff. I don't know. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
If I'd give it a score, 7.
Ugh. That's the most boring score ever.
I know. It's if you like Uncharted, it's worth playing, especially at like $20, and it took me a week to play it like a couple hours a night.
Yeah.
Maybe 25 hours is like a lie. It probably took me, I don't know, 12 to 15.
Right. And if you haven't
It's
played
really not
Uncharted
long.
4, definitely play that.
Yeah, I guess my that's a good thing to get out of this is like don't play on Lost Legacy unless you've already played Uncharted 4 because Uncharted 4 is just the same game but way better.
It's so good. It's so much fun.
And Nathan Drake is so charismatic, and they did a good job with the main character Chloe. She's funny and stuff like that, but just you can't top bootleg Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. Oh, another awesome part of Uncharted 4 is playing Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
You play a video game in the video game.
Yeah, you play your wife. You play each other in Crash Bandicoot. Like whoever gets the highest score, whoever loses
funny.
has to do the dishes. It's
really
a
funny.
cute thing. See, and it's just stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was all missing from this game. And then I got Tetris Effect. It's just Tetris with a bunch of cool effects all around it, and it's cool because this game is super into the psychology behind Tetris, and the name comes from when they were doing a study and they had people play Tetris, and they would see the lines falling after they had stopped playing the game.
Oh, okay.
Just like, you play so much, it's like Guitar Hero, that same thing. But like you can still feel the rails moving after you stop. But
okay.
I mean, it was built for VR. It has a 2D mode. I played a fair amount. I played probably like 2 or 3 hours in VR, and I played probably about the same in 2D just because I don't feel like putting on the helmet, but I like playing the game. But it's almost like Tetris, the music game.
Nice,
Like,
which is awesome.
Yeah, like
Nice.
moving the pieces every time you press a button.
That sounds insanely like, I don't want to say soothing, but it definitely.
No, it is. That's the
That's
thing.
funny.
Like they have, if you go into the bonus modes, there's a playlist called Chill or Relax or
Nice.
something like that. And then they have like playlists that are like only underwater modes. It never speeds up, but it's not too slow. Like the rate that the pieces fall is like not too slow, not too fast, and you cannot fail. So I play that a lot, because I'm just like chilling. Like every time you move a piece, it makes a sound that goes along with the music, and every time you like drop pieces and clear lines, it kind of like progresses the song. It's really neat. And there's some cool stuff. Like there's this thing called max, or like I don't know, I call it max mode. And you pull both the triggers, and the pieces cease to fall down the screen. So you have to like drop them into place.
Yeah.
And then what happens is every line you clear while this meter is burning, it doesn't actually clear the line until the meter is over, and then it clears all of them at once. I got 13 lines.
Nice.
Which is that's like crazy. Like there's an achievement for getting 12.
Okay.
It's like 3 Tetrises in like 15 seconds. It's really crazy, but so like there's this whole like cool like high score mode kind of vibe to it, but at the same time not. I don't know. And if you play the story mode, some of those levels are really difficult, and like it's not all like chill, relax, fun time. I just like that aspect of it a lot. So I've been doing that, and it's like it's fun because it's something I can pop on and play for 20 minutes, and just super relaxing.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
For sure.
So I wanted to talk about those. I like getting new games and telling you guys about them, and I was proud that I beat Uncharted in a week.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, oh, I can do a game review where it's not split over multiple weeks. So obviously the biggest news this week was E3.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of stuff, like a lot of games that were announced. So what I would like to do here is we're just going to read down a bunch of them. If you have something to say, just try and keep it short and concise. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about a lot of these games more in the future.
Yeah, and I found an article that had like a simple breakdown and just threw that in there. Like,
yeah. So these are all the games that were announced by Studio, and like not announced, but just information.
Yeah.
So Breath of the Wild 2 from Nintendo, obviously.
Yeah.
That got announced. I didn't play the first one. I would like to at some point, but I
It's
don't think I
great.
can that many hours in.
Yeah, it takes a lot. I mean, I'm stoked for there to be another Zelda game in that engine and kind of be on board when it comes out instead of later. And this hasn't we haven't gotten a true sequel to a Zelda game since Majora's Mask, so this is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Animal Crossing got delayed, which is bad for Steve because of his fantasy team, and bad for my wife, but good for me because that means I'll be able to play my Switch for longer.
Yeah.
Maybe it's bad for me because she's been playing Tetris so much. I need her to play something else.
You might just have to get another Switch
or another PlayStation.
Yeah.
I play her own. She won't stop playing games on my account. And I'm like, babe, there's only one save slot. Play on your own account. Dragon Quest 11 is coming to Switch. No More Heroes 3. I've never played any of those games. The Witcher 3 is coming to Switch. Looking at you, Nips. You can play it at work.
That's crazy. That game is huge.
I don't know how that's going to run. It's probably going to run like garbage.
Well, they said the graphics are going to be a little bit like, it's not going to be as good of graphics because that is like the biggest game ever.
It's very intensive.
Mm-hmm. But
whatever, we'll see. Hopefully it's not just like terrible graphics and stuttery as hell. The Link's Awakening remake looks so cool. It's like I don't play my Switch much, but when I see stuff like that, I'm like, yes, I'm so glad I have a Switch.
Yep. And I played Link to the Past on Game Boy Color when they remade that. And those top-down Zelda games are a ton of fun. I just gotta say. And this is like the quirky one.
Yeah, and it just looks really cool. Like the art style is really awesome. It's just fun to look at.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
And then Steve, did you see the Smash announcement of this character?
I did not, but I'm still
oh my
about
god. It. So this is let me set the stage. I watched this.
All right.
So it opens with Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, King K. Rool sleeping in the DK treehouse.
Okay.
And
this is gonna be awesome.
They all wake up and they look out the window and they're all like, what is that? What is that? What is that? There's something in the sunset. There's like a silhouette, and it's a bear and a bird.
Oh
shit! And you see all their faces be like, "What? Oh my god!" Mm-hmm. And then like this big like flash happens and all the leaves go, and it's effing Duck Hunt.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And their faces are all like, "What?" Like, was so disappointed, and it just sits on that for so long, and then it does the Duck Hunt, like the dog is laughing, and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, they just trolled everyone so hard until Banjo and Kazooie just come flying down from the sky and just like smash Duck Hunt. So Banjo and Kazooie awesome. Are coming to Smash.
That's a big character entry because
Rare is doing stuff for Xbox.
I didn't realize how huge Banjo-Kazooie was.
Ben was super into it when we were kids. I was never that big of a deal, but I like the characters. The characters themselves are endearing.
It's funny because I really like Banjo-Kazooie and I did not like Mario 64. And I was like, platforming is stupid. And it's like literally the same exact game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much all the Switch stuff. Microsoft, so Scarlet got announced. We've talked about Scarlet a couple of times on this show. We know everything about it, all the rumors. They basically said all the stuff that we already knew. The only new thing I think was they said that it's going to be 120 FPS, and we have confirmed 8K, confirmed solid state drive. So, go figure.
Same as PlayStation so far.
Halo Infinite is going to be a launch title, apparently.
Yeah, I saw that. I did hear about that. That's going to be fucking wild. And apparently they don't know where in the timeline it's going to be set, right? Like the Master Chief in the trailer looked like a young Master Chief.
Well, he was spaced. So like I assume it was like after the everything. How do you say a young Master Chief? He's
I
in a
don't
suit
know,
of
man.
armor.
No, it was. I saw a bit of the trailer, and it was like,
There's a guy, but that's not Master
yeah.
Chief. He like pulls Chief
Oh,
in.
maybe
He's in the suit the whole time.
maybe it's okay. Then maybe that's what it is. Because I didn't. I saw the guy, and I saw like the trailer, and people were talking about it. And they're like, yeah, it's like young Master Chief or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know he actually had a face and stuff. I thought he was just always in the Spartan
No,
armor.
it's probably just people looking at the character model and being like, "Oh, that's reminiscent of an earlier thing from the Halo franchise." But you got to remember, they're trying to,
spiritually reboot it.
yeah, they're trying to like bring it back and be like, "Yo, Halo is actually really cool." So, it might just be a character model choice, or there could be those Halo lore nerds out there that are like, "No, I saw his name tag, the guy who brought him in, and that guy was a lot." I don't know. So,
We need Penn's
hey,
Halo in on this.
I mean, Halo.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I hope it comes to PC at launch.
It should. I can't imagine it won't.
Oh, Game Pass is coming to PC.
Yeah, I'm stoked about that too. It's $1 right now, right?
Yeah, and Master Chief Collection's on it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to sign up. Well, I have a free month, and I'm also going to sign up for that month for $1. So I have like the next 2 months that I can play that, which will be cool. I don't know why I said it like that.
For sure.
Keanu Reeves was announced for April 16th. I'm sorry, Cyberpunk 2077 was announced for April 16th, 2020.
That was pretty crazy. I did see some of that trailer.
The trailer was cool. Keanu Reeves like didn't do anything. He spent like 3 minutes just being like Cyberpunk 2077.
I just love his character's name in the thing. It's I can't remember the first name because it's irrelevant, honestly. But it's like Johnny Silverhand or something like that.
Yeah, I was excited. I thought it was weird because I was like, wait, John Wick is in this game because he looks exactly like John Wick. But
yeah,
I digress.
John Wick.
Yeah, he's in the game. But yeah, I'm super stoked. Sorry, Beard. Sorry for your fantasy team. Called it.
Yeah, we all knew. We all knew.
I actually April 16th, 2020 is sooner than I thought it was going to come out.
Oh yeah, for sure. You could
And
still get
that's
delayed, but
it's like what, like 2 weeks before my birthday. So I was like, babe, I want that for my birthday. And then I was like, actually, no, I don't already have it. I was like, I'm playing that the day it comes out. I'm taking off work.
For sure.
From Software and George R.R. Martin announced Elden Ring. It's a game. The Outer Worlds, that's Bethesda's game. It's coming out.
That's Bethesda does Borderlands.
Sorry, not
right?
Bethesda. It's Obsidian.
Yeah, who is
Obsidian
now
does
owned by
Borderlands,
Xbox,
sorry.
which is why it's in. No, they don't. Gearbox does Borderlands. They're who did the original Fallout and New Vegas.
No. I mean, it's their take on a Borderlands kind of game,
Yeah, I could see that.
more or less.
It's like
I know Gearbox does Borderlands. I was making a joke. Obviously, we missed.
No.
I could see that though. That's an apt comparison. I'm really excited. That's coming out October 25th. This fall is going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Gears 5 coming out November 10th. This year. And
September 10th.
What did I say?
November.
Sorry, September 10th.
Yep.
Look, it's real life. That's coming to PC at launch, which is cool.
Yeah, dude.
Xbox Studios has acquired Double Fine, the developers of Psychonauts. So Psychonauts 2. You did not put the release date in here, but I know that's coming.
Yeah, Psychonauts 2 is coming out, but it's going to be on all platforms because they were developing it before Xbox acquired them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of these games will be out on all platforms aside from Halo and Gears 5.
Yep.
They announced a new Elite controller, and I think the only new difference is the trigger stops.
Cool.
Yeah, and the only like physical gameplay difference, because I think there's like another profile or something on there. I wasn't paying a super close attention to that because those controllers are too expensive.
Yeah, this one's even more expensive. It's Gonna
Yeah.
be like $170 or something like that.
But something that's not $170 is xCloud, which starts this October. You know, it might be around that for a year though.
Hmm.
Sorry to lie to you, listeners. Square Enix. Did you guys watch the Avengers trailer?
I did.
I haven't
It
seen
looked
it.
pretty cool, but I still don't
Scott?
understand what that game is gonna be.
We're gonna talk about Final Fantasy VII first. Watch that Marvel Avengers trailer.
Okay.
Steve, they showed Tifa for the first time.
Oh, how did she look?
Dude, that game looks incredible. Like I heard something funny though that I think it was Donkey was like they announced Final Fantasy VII remake. Now you can have all the confusing bullshit of Kingdom Hearts 3 throughout all those games rolled into one game.
Hmm.
Yep.
That's pretty good. I still can't figure out those Kingdom Hearts games.
No, they're too much. But like it looks fantastic. Like
It
even
really
like the
does.
gameplay, like it Square Enix for all the like weird stuff they do and how long it takes them to make games, they look good when they make them.
They really do. And it's episodic, so we're gonna get the first episode in March, actually, which I'm pretty stoked about. I can't wait to play it. It looks good. It's
We'll see.
not turn-based, so
Yeah, that's why I'm excited because like I've always loved the characters of Final Fantasy, but like damn, I just hate turn-based games.
15 was
Yeah,
fun.
that's
I enjoyed it,
awful.
and the combat seems similar to that.
Yeah, except, you know, I don't know, it's all over the place. You know, you got Cloud has a sword, Barrett's got the gun, Tifa punches people. Who knows what Aerith does?
She's a healer
Yeah, but how does that translate to fighting?
and summoner.
Man, maybe it's like, hey, Steve, did you ever pick up Devil May Cry 5?
No, not yet. I intend
Okay.
to.
I was like, I know you were getting into that series. I didn't know if you had ever picked that up.
They're fun.
There's a character in Devil May Cry 5 that summons people to fight for him.
Nice.
Or it's animals or something like that. I shouldn't say people. It's like a bear and an eagle and something else. I digress. But yeah, Avengers from Crystal Dynamic.
We got a CGI trailer, is what we got.
Yeah, but didn't it look like some of that was gameplay? Like there was a lot of like over the shoulder.
Like it looked like it could have been gameplay, but it wasn't. You know.
Well, it said no. Wait, it wasn't a CG trailer at the beginning. Didn't it say this was filmed in engine.
Oh, maybe, but like it wasn't gameplay. Like I still don't really understand how that game is gonna work when you sit down to play it. Like, am I going to be like, who the hell was talking during the trailer? Like, are you even gonna be able to play as the actual Avengers? Are you as the person that's talking, who's some other person that's in the Avengers?
All right, there's no way you're not playing as an Avenger.
I mean, that would be dumb, right? To not do it that way.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. I swear this was done in engine.
I'm watching this trailer. It looks
possible.
like it's
Yeah.
going to be one of those games
from in-engine footage.
It looks like it's one of those games where you're going to be able to like play as the entire team.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm seeing a bunch of missions, like one's Black Widow. There's some over-the-shoulder stuff with Iron Man.
Yeah, a lot of
There's
this
one
looks
with
like
Cap.
gameplay. Like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it could just be CG, but like, it looks like the way it will play. I've also heard that this game was going to be like Destiny. So,
yeah,
like,
which is weird.
there's a possibility that like you could pick an Avenger, and your friend could be a different one.
And
We
just
don't know
follow
much
their
about it.
story or something.
Well, it's a story about all of them. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like a bunch of isolated stories.
I got a lot of Civil War vibes for the story.
Yeah.
Through this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I'm
definitely
excited.
getting that.
Yeah, it looks fun.
It is
looks like a
weird though
Switch game
because
for me, if it's on Switch.
it looks like all the costumes from the movies, but the actors and voice actors are different.
Yeah, that's the weirdest thing too. As
Well,
I'm watching this, I'm like, that's not Robert Downey Jr.
They kind of look similar to.
Yeah,
the
that's
actors,
the
but
thing
not.
too. It's like It's like the cast that you would cast in the porno version. Like, yeah, he kind of looks like that guy. It's fine. He's got a goatee. What else? Bethesda, Deathloop. Okay, did anybody see this trailer?
I did not.
Okay, I watched a lot of E3. Deathloop is a game. I don't really know how the gameplay is going to be, but the premise is that like there's this girl and she says that she doesn't want the Deathloop to end because that's how she makes her living.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy wants to stop the death loop so he can get out of it, and he's getting Groundhog Day'd. I don't know if they're both getting
Oh,
Groundhog
man.
Day'd, but every time he dies, he starts over.
Oh,
So
okay. So it's a
it,
roguelike.
well, I think
Kinda?
I think that ties into the story though. So I don't know how it's gonna work, but
Yeah.
I know that it just showed them killing each other over and over again, and they would wake up and like, and the classic situation where like, oh, he's standing in a hotel room, she busts in, shoots him in the head. He wakes up, and the next time she busts in the door, he turns around and he's ready.
Okay.
So
Okay,
Oh,
I see.
nice.
I don't know what it's gonna be, but it looks really cool. These two people just trying to murder each other.
Yeah.
Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't really know anything about this game. Like I saw it and I was like, this looks really cool. It looks really good. Is I couldn't really understand the presenter very well, so I couldn't like tell what they were really talking about.
Yeah.
But it looks cool. Looks spooky. You have guns. It's in
It says
Tokyo.
it's a paranormal action adventure game from the makers of Evil Within.
I'm watching this, and my wife's like, "It looks like it's based in China," and I was like, "Or Tokyo." It's like it's called Ghostwire Tokyo.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh, that reminds me of
And
something funny from work.
it's from the makers of Evil Within. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen anything from those. They're very creepy, but like mind bending kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Doom Eternal. I mean, it looks awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, I keep hearing a lot of good stuff about that, so that might be something worth checking out.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, Doom 2016 was very well received. I played a little bit at a friend's house and was like, yeah, this is fun. And then I have like Doom VFR kind of gave me that same feeling. I feel like I'm just gonna wait for Doom Eternal to come out, because a lot of the mechanics in that seem like, you know, just fun. Just knowing that they exist and trying to play Doom 2016, I feel like, yeah, I wish it could do this though. I've seen it in the gameplay trailers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
EA showed Jedi Fallen Order, and
And
I was not impressed.
really, I was super impressed. You can do so much.
I hope it's a good story, but like, okay, here's the things I thought was cool. I liked seeing the dude who was in, oh gosh, Forrest
Yeah.
Whitaker.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, what's that character's name? I forget what the name of the character is from Rogue One.
Yeah,
But yeah,
but
I know who you're talking about.
I like seeing him not old and beaten up. That was cool. I like the new droid. Throwing your lightsaber better be as fulfilling as God of War throwing the axe.
The only way it can be that fulfilling is if it's the same lightsaber throws Darth Vader, because that just fucking wrecks.
It looked like it kind of in the gameplay. No, but you can like force pull people. Like it seems like there's going to be a ton of strategy with how you use the force.
I loved when he like did the weird like slowing down the lasers and then moved the guy in front of the laser.
Mm-hmm.
That was really sweet, and it looked cool when he would walk up and be like swatting the bullets away. I hope it's not just a thing where it's like hold X to deflect bullets. Like I hope it's a little more active than that.
Yeah.
But still like accessible. I don't know. It just the mission, like the gameplay that they showed, I was like, yeah, I mean, it looks like 7 territory, like as far as gameplay goes. I mean, I know that like Star Wars is tied to it, and that's gonna swing a lot of people. But like, you guys know me, I don't care about Star Wars. I want to play a game where you have a lightsaber because that's cool. But
yeah,
I wasn't super impressed.
I don't know, man. I keep going back and forth on this because, like, you know, I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, but I don't know that I really. Um, it's like a wait and see thing, right? Because I see some of the stuff and I'm like, man, that seems kind of lame. And then I see like the story about another Jedi who survived Order 66. I'm just like, come on, guys, like
Yeah,
we've had this
if the
story
story's
before at
good,
least four
it'll be good.
times. You know,
Yeah.
like you got to make this interesting somehow else. Um, which I think they can. And I do really hope they do. It's just one of those things where I'm just like, man, I don't know enough to really make a good judgment on
Yeah.
it.
What
I
I'm
mean, it's
most
also
interested.
Respawn, so
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that what I'm most interested in is like Respawn makes first-person shooters, and this is a third-person action adventure game. So
do
like,
we know if they wrote the game?
I can't imagine
I
they didn't.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
the game is canon. I
Well,
know that.
that's the other thing that I was going to say too. Like as a Star Wars fan who was a huge fan of the expanded universe and then had all that tossed out when Disney bought Lucasfilm, more or less
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't want to like pay everybody for publishing rights and royalties, and then they pretty much lifted like 9/10 of of that storyline and applied it to Force Awakens. Um, I'm kind of salty about it, and I really would like to know, like, all right, so exactly how much of this game is actually going to be acknowledged within the canon? Like, I'm not going to go see a movie and see the, Cal Kestis running around. That's fine, I get that, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it'd be nice to know that it actually mattered versus like playing through some of these other Star Wars games that now technically never happened. And it's like, but there was good stuff in there. Why did it just like go away? So I don't know.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I stand on it, honestly.
Well, you're in luck. It's canon.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So you can count on them until it gets pushed to another studio, and then they sell everything.
you play
Right.
as the main character is the guy that played Ian in Shameless, and he's also the Joker in Gotham.
Yeah, I can't
No shit.
unsee Ian.
Yep.
So we'll see. I mean, like, it has the potential to be good. I feel like so far it's like, okay, well, let's see.
Yeah, and it's something
I'm
new
not sold on
from
it yet.
it's something new from a developer that I respect. Them trying something new. So like, if it's good, then bravo.
Well, and it's a franchise that you admire a lot too, so that's
Yeah,
cool for
I
you.
love Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt right now.
Hey,
Yeah.
Ubisoft announced Watch Dogs Legion. Well, I think they announced it a little bit before this, but
Yeah,
they
we got a
showed
date.
us Watch Dogs Legion, March 6th, 2020. And that game you can play as any of the NPCs in the entire game, including the old lady.
Yeah.
And that's what they showed the gameplay of. It's like you're like this little old lady with like beating the hell out of people with a shotgun and stuff. It's crazy.
Damn.
There's a cartoony game, so I'm not gonna play it, called Gods and Monsters from the makers of Assassin's Creed. So I have nothing to say about that because I don't have anything nice to say because I hate games that look like cartoons.
It's like
Uh,
Greek fantasy stuff, like Assassin's Creed, but like doubling down on the fantasy part of that.
I'm honestly trying to think of any cartoony game that I like that isn't like Donut County.
No, that stinks because there's a lot of fun games that are cartoony.
Yeah, I don't know. I play video games because I think they look cool.
Like Dauntless.
I just want to be cool, bro.
Dauntless is a ton of fun.
This just says Odyssey.
No, from the makers of Assassin's Creed
okay.
Odyssey.
I don't know how to read. That's real life. Hey, the game that I won't play is coming out on February 25th, 2020.
Yep.
And there's a Uplay subscription service coming out. Oh, and back to Bethesda. They have a streaming service that is baked into the game engine level called Orion.
Shit. That's kind of crazy.
So they were saying, I think from what I could gather from watching the press conference, they're kind of like, hey, with this being baked into the engine, it'll be easier for people to play our games over streams, kind of thing. And like they could work with the people that say like Stadia or XCloud or whatever PlayStation's is called.
So it'll be like a a Chrome extension, but it's for Stadia or XCloud.
And they were saying something too about like other people being able to use it, which was nice.
Nice.
So, that's really cool. Oh, also Bethesda came out and talked about Fallout 76. Fallout 76 will not be free, but
Okay.
the whole, I think, next year of content is free. Feel free to send in a correction if I got that wrong. And in addition to that, NPCs are coming back to the game, human
Wow.
NPCs, and a whole new storyline. So they're basically like, all right,
They're
let's
trying to
make
soft
this
reboot
into a
Fallout.
Yeah, they're like, let's actually make it into a Fallout game.
Yeah, you need NPCs even in like a massive multiplayer style game to like make the world seem lived in.
Yeah. I mean, and it's true. Like other players have really helped improve that game, like becoming just basically role playing as vendors and stuff.
Yeah.
Leave food and water for people outside of the vault. Drop guns for people as soon as they come out. Walk up through quests. I mean, it's literally because there's nothing else to do, and how long can you just grief?
Right.
All right, that's all the stuff. Oh wait, I had games, PC gaming. This is not all the games that were announced at the PC gaming conference, but some of them that were interesting. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 looks amazing.
I heard.
Oh, really? I've been hearing about
Yeah,
it.
that I was gonna say. Apparently that game has like a cult following. Like
Yeah.
that game
Yeah, the
series. I
first
guess
one.
It was a tabletop
And-
game originally, I'm pretty sure.
And according to like some of the people who are really into that game, they said this looks like pretty much the best game ever for them. So cool. I don't really know anything about it, and kind of similar to Ben, I just kind of play first person shooters that are like space westerns or weird sci-fi shit. So it's not really. I'm not like the target market.
I don't know, man. I'm super excited to see this. Like, I don't know. It sounds really cool that you can be like different types of vampires. Like you can be like the Nosferatu vampire, or you can be like the sexy vampire, like different kinds of those things. And the whole rule is you can't break the masquerade, which means like humans can't know that vampires exist.
Yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah. So it sounds really cool. So yeah, Nate Fu says I actually LARPed a Vampire the Masquerade campaign.
No
That's
shit.
dope.
See, so that shows how much people like that. Also, LARPing, not as silly as it sounds. Chivalry 2 is a game from. Shoot, I just watched this earlier today, so I don't really have too many notes. Tripwire and Torn Banner. And they basically were like, yeah, it's fucking, you play as knights and slash people up. And they said, I don't know, they said it's really funny and goofy. They take some inspiration from Monty Python, but it looks like realistic and everything like that. They said at one point you can like yell insults at somebody while beating them with a chicken. And I was like,
that sounds hilarious.
yeah, I was like, that's cool, man. And then there's just a couple other games here. Sorry. Zombie Army 4 Dead War. This is made by the people that made Sniper Elite.
Okay.
So it looks like, Call of Duty Nazi zombies, but I'm always find to kill zombies.
Well, I mean, that game, that part of that franchise alone was hugely popular. I mean, Gray Fox still plays that, so.
Yeah, and it is in fact Nazi zombies, but I think it's during the actual Nazi era instead of being like, oh, they're back. And
Right.
at the end, zombie Hitlers at the end of the trailer.
Right.
Nice.
And then the last one, I know nothing really about this game other than it's a shooter, Remnant from Ashes, and you fight big creepy monsters with guns, like spooky stuff. Maybe it said that they take inspiration from Souls games. So
Okay.
think like Dark Souls bosses.
But it's a shooter.
Yeah.
So it's going to be hard.
Well, not necessarily hard, but that's kind of the style.
Anytime I hear something inspired by Dark Souls, I'm like, that's not a game I want to play.
Other than that, I didn't get this far into the conference, but I know that Gearbox sat down and answered a bunch of questions about Borderlands 3.
There was
So-
also an IGN exclusive play for Borderlands, gameplay trailer, gameplay reveal or something for Borderlands 3. All I know is IGN played a shitload of the character that I'm most interested in, Mose, which is the soldier class for Borderlands 3, or the robot jock, I think they called her. Forget
Nice.
exactly how it's phrased. And, I was talking about it in Discord earlier today, but I'll tell you what, man, that character just sounds like it's made for me.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. That's all the games. Quick fantasy game critic update. Phoenix is this 11 points for Elder Scrolls Elsewhere,
Yeah.
or is it negative?
No, it's 11 points.
Okay. 7 points for Trover Saves the
No,
Universe.
that one is -7.
Negative
points.
7.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Trover is actually, everyone really likes that game. That's
Nice.
Justin Roiland. I think it's his game studio, and it's VR or not VR, and Justin Roiland. If you like Rick and Morty,
Nice.
which by the way, when did it become cool to hate on Rick and Morty? Like, I like that show. I'm not gonna go buy merch for it, but like that's not a bad show.
Oh, people are hating on it now?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say,
I didn't know that was a thing.
that's kind of news to me as well.
I've heard people being like, "This show's fucking dumb." It's like, you hate everything that people like. Laz has Trover Saves the Universe, so he got 7 points, 31 overall at this point. Persona Q2, New Cinema Labyrinth got him 12 points, and Blood and Truth got him 11 points. Nar, Outer Wilds. I did not think this game was going to do well, but it actually, everybody really likes it. It got him 13 points.
I think he's been playing it too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about picking it up. FUD has no releases yet, so he's in the same boat as me, where nothing that I have has released. Drafty, 4 points for Sonic Team Racing, 19 points for Catherine Full Body.
Yeah, that was a
Mitchie.
great pickup, Catherine Full Body.
Mitch
It
Slap.
sounds like a porno.
I don't remember what it is.
It's a story-driven game.
Is it Catherine in VR?
It's the Catherine sequel, I think.
Oh, okay. Let's where were we at here? Mitchie. Taking Cyberpunk. I told you it was a bad idea.
Yep.
That game will not be released this year, so 0 points. BarelyADS, Skull and Bones will not release, so that's 0 points for that. Steve got 1 point for Rage, and 2 games on his list will not release, and those games are Animal Crossing or Ori.
Yep.
So those are both 2020.
Sucks.
Yep. I have no points yet, but you can sure bet your bottom dollar The Last of Us 2 is going to come out in 2020. And then Justin, JC Jesse, Martin Thunder, 20 points overall, 6 points for observation, and this math doesn't add up.
It does not. That's weird.
And 15 points for Total War 3 Kingdoms.
I don't know if that was my mistake or the website's mistake.
Who knows? What I do know is that we have listener questions brought to you by patreon.com/BarelyADS. RNG wants to know, what's one song that would make you flee from the designated mosh area?
Raining
that's
Blood by Slayer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I just don't want to be in the pit for Raining Blood.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't. This actually happened to me, but it wasn't Slayer.
Any
So this-
Hatebreed song.
I mean, no comment.
I don't want to be in the pit for any of that.
Dude, I'll tell you right now, like, this is still when I was pretty young in terms of like going to shows and stuff. I think it was maybe my second or third year, and I got to see Dropkick Murphys back in 2001. So they were still good. It wasn't that like nonsensical Pogues stuff that they put out now that I'm not really a fan of. It was them, Sick of It All, and Tiger Army, which is a really weird thing, but it was backed by they give him the boot comps off Hellcat Records, so it kind of made sense. And I was surprised by Tiger Army, so I go up honestly sick of it all. I've never seen them before. They're one of my favorite hardcore bands. I need to go see them. So I'm like up front. And there was one point where Luke Holler says to the crowd, he's like, all right, everybody split up the middle. And he goes, all right, this side is I forget what but they were doing the Braveheart basically. For anyone who doesn't know, basically it split the crowd in half, and they're like, all right, when the music starts, you run towards the other side. And Lou's like, yeah, you're not gonna be hitting anybody. He's like, give him a big hug. And I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be fucking crazy. So I immediately back off, and it was one of the most insane things I've seen to this day still, because they're playing like the riff that they always play. That's like the precursor to it. So it's like dun 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 dun, and they finish their bit, and then Lou just comes out and they start Scratch the Surface, and it was just like it was chaos. It was so cool.
Steve, what? Oh, you said Raining Blood.
Yeah.
Laz wants to know. He says, do you have a food item that you would consider your forbidden love? So good you'd be unable to stop eating. Example, he loves olives.
For me, it's ice cream. Just yes,
pork fried rice. I literally eat it till I get sick.
Pork fried rice. Okay.
Man, that's tough. I don't actually know.
What's a food that no matter what, you're just going to finish it?
Maybe
Indian food would be another one for me. Like, I can't leave leftovers.
Oh, yeah, that's really good, too. Oh,
Here's the second one. Barbecue.
Oh, shit.
Like ribs.
Man, these are some tough ones.
Barbecue.
Ribs. There's some Mexican food. When I get it, it's pretty good. I'm like, I need to eat this whole fucking plate right now.
Yeah.
I know when I go to a diner and I get like one of those giant breakfast things, it's all pancakes and eggs and stuff. None of it's coming home with me. None of it.
Look, we love food, okay?
Yeah.
I mean,
Scott and I are fat boys.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and this is after like retuning my diet, like intake and stuff like that, and like learning portion control.
I mean, as part of that, I just finished rewatching Parks and Rec tonight, and one of my favorite quotes from that show is, "Why don't people just eat breakfast food for every meal?"
Right, dude, it's amazing. Like right now, I'm thinking about like probably going into work tomorrow for OT, so I'll go grab a laptop and work on the outside project that the special project I've been working on. I did this last week. It was amazing, right? Obviously I work nights, so like I go to the cafe at the place that I work, and they don't have breakfast food at night unless it's like the one day every 3 months they have breakfast food at night. So I can't just go in there and like. So last week it dawned on me I was running late, wanted to get in by 7 a.m. or whatever it was, so I could get out by the time that I had to get home, so my wife could go to her doctor's appointment and watch our son. And so I'm just like, I'm just gonna have to eat at work. Fuck it. So get there early, grab a laptop, walk to the cafe, and they had like their breakfast buffet laid out. And like, this is amazing. So I like got a stack of French toast and like
it's
scrambled eggs and bacon. Yeah. So I sat there at a table in the corner by the window, listening to podcasts and like working on code. It was pretty much the best day I've had in that place in a long time. It was awesome.
Nice.
Naran G says, if you are Mario, what celebrity would be Peach and what celebrity would be Bowser? Human people.
My Peach would be Jessica Biel, for sure. And I mean, that just makes Bowser Justin Timberlake, doesn't it?
I don't know.
I'd have to defeat her husband.
That's
All right.
tough.
Peach is my wife, and Bowser is Doug Bowser.
Doug Bowser. Did we get
Yeah.
a look at Doug Bowser? Did he make an appearance?
Yeah. Oh my God. Watch the beginning of the Nintendo Direct. Just the beginning.
Was he dressed as Bowser?
No, but Bowser was there.
Oh my god.
It's
I'm
so cringy and terrible.
so, but they tried to make a joke out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Hmm.
It was fun. See, it's an E3 related answer.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely Jessica Biel.
I'm sorry I took the
Gorgeous.
easy way out on that one.
Hey man, there's no shame in it. I don't really do celebrity
I just couldn't think
crushes.
of anybody.
Dude, you know what? Like, I don't know. I think about it. I'm like, it's my wife, man. Pete would be
It's
my
my
wife.
wife.
It's now or never.
That's what Bon Jovi did later in life. It's my wife.
Yeah, no.
Right. All right. Well, who's your
And-
nemesis? Who's your Bowser then?
Oh shit, man, that's even harder.
Some guy at work.
There's like no. There's like way more. I got a way longer list for that than anyone else. I guess maybe Mitch McConnell.
Who's that?
He's
Hockey?
no. I mean, if you're gonna go hockey, I mean, shit. I'm trying to think who would be at this point.
Who do you want to defeat?
Oh, he's a United States senator.
Yeah. Oh,
All right.
dude, you look into some of the shit that Year to the Turtle motherfucker has said. Like somebody needs to put a brick in his face.
All right.
And that's as close
Sorry.
to the line as we're going.
Yep. Sorry.
Norm G also wants to know. He saw this one from Guardian Outpost on Twitter. Shout out to Coach Go. And he thought he should ask us the same thing. You're trapped in a 50-story building. Every floor is filled with bad guys that want to do bad things to you. Which Destiny weapon are you choosing so you can escape? Only one weapon. No supers, no grenades.
All right. Honest answer, anything that regenerates ammo because it's a lot of people. But
Huckleberry?
yeah, sure, that'll work. The Brickleberry. No, but the real answer is Twilight Garrison. Just jump out right before you hit the ground, do a little dash, run away.
There you go. There you go.
I got places to be.
What are you taking in there, Scott?
Hmm.
Is that D1 rocket launcher that just spits fire everywhere?
Dragon's Breath? Nah, that thing was trash as hell. Fuck,
Sweet
man, that's-
business, baby.
I was gonna say I really like the idea of sweet business, but I also wanted to break the question and say like, it doesn't matter because your ghost can res you.
Well, no, you just get a weapon.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And look, Twilight Garrison's a weapon. Just ask anybody who played against it in D1.
Yep.
This is true. This is very true. Anyone who played with it, we should know it's a weapon as well, because I can't count how many times I dodged out of stuff.
Yep.
Man, I probably sweet business. I mean, my first instinct was like, well, I would like go cloak pilot and then drop a Legion in the center of that building and walk out of there with a fucking Gatling gun just spraying lead. But
So
I guess
sweet
the
business.
closest, yeah, I guess the closest thing to that sweet business then. Sweet business and Actium War Rig.
There we
Sorry, everybody else.
Mine's just the Recluse. That thing is insane. And
Oh,
if you kill at
fuck
least
yeah.
3 dudes before you reload, your reload's almost instantaneous. And you didn't say
Dude,
anything about melees, so yeah, I run Top Tree Sentinel, so every punch kill gives me an overshield. I'm set. I'm getting out of that building.
I've seen that fucking Recluse do work in PvE and PvP. That thing is nasty. It shreds.
It's so good.
Hey, Drafty wants to know, how do you feel about one person asking the same question to 4 or 5 other podcasts? Ironic how Fluffy called out Beard last week for this. Is this hypocrisy?
Right. So,
Hey.
like, how do we feel about... So, like, Beard last week asked a bunch of people the same question. And then Fluffy was like, how do you feel about Beard asking everybody the same question? And now, 1 week later, Drafty asks, how do you feel about somebody asking the same question? So, like, that's a weird catch-22, isn't it?
Look, man, there's it's like music. There's only so many notes and so many combinations you can make. So there's bound to be some overlap, right?
See, are you saying that Mitch Slap gave us Ice Ice Baby?
I mean, he could.
Dun, 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 dun.
He could also be doing his bit as trying to get different answers from different people.
That's true.
Sort
Or
of a social
See,
experiment.
here's the
or
thing,
is
though.
Fluffy's Under Pressure and Drafty's Ice Ice Baby?
Wait, which one gets David Bowie? I don't remember.
That would make Fluffy David Bowie. That's great.
Right. I was gonna say so. Fluffy's David Bowie. I'm gonna go with that. Fluffy is David Bowie.
All right, that's the answer to Drafty's question. There we
Wait, wasn't Freddie Mercury on that song too?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah, so that makes Nips Freddie Mercury.
go.
I love it.
So wait, who's Vanilla Ice in this scenario?
Drafty.
Oh,
How does it feel to be a rap rocker now, Drafty?
yeah.
Gear Dad, this is the last question. Says, who's the most big timer who's ever big time you big time? It's you, Gear Dad.
He's right.
Big timing me.
Yeah.
I was supposed to come on the podcast and didn't big time you again.
I big timed you this last week though, Ben.
What's that?
Oh, you hopped on to play Destiny and like we were already playing, and then once you were available to actually play was when I went to bed.
Yeah, that's
So-
fine. We needed the space.
Yeah.
I've been finding I'm the 5th or 7th wheel in that game lately.
Oh, what was fun though and interesting is that like there's all this new content with the menagerie and all this stuff going on, right? And the other night we just ended up playing private matches for like an hour and a half.
Well, you went to sleep and I played Menagerie and it was fun.
Yeah, menagerie's dope. I like it a lot.
I need
I like
to get
that's
in
like
there
raid
and unlock
mechanics.
that, man. That
Mhm.
sounds like fun, and I just haven't had the chance to.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
like
raid
raid
nostalgia.
mechanics, and the better you do at the mechanic, the more points you get and the less time you spend in the Menagerie.
Oh, that's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and you can't fail. Like
That's
if
even
you
better.
are
Just takes
if you're
longer.
terrible, it'll just take forever.
Yeah,
It'll just take forever.
Like
pretty
sex.
much. Hey, wait, but does
If
that
you're
mean
bad
you're
at
bad at it?
Yeah, if you're bad at it, it takes forever. If you're good at it, it's over immediately.
I don't know if that's correct.
I mean,
So hey, that's what my
No?
wife says.
I feel bad for Ben.
Anyway,
boy.
thanks Bibble for coming on the show.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
It's in the notes.
Mhm.
Oh, is it still in there?
Yes. I'm gonna keep reading it until it's not.
Oh, it is. All right.
Steve, tell everybody about the meetup.
Well, by the time you're hearing this, it's happened already, but it's this Saturday, and I'm stoked about it in Akron. So if you're here live and you can make it to Akron on this Saturday, come hang out. Hit me up for deets. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
You guys got any shout outs?
just shout out to the Overwatch crew because we're in there like every week and it's fun every time.
I mean, Scott's is part of his sign off.
Yeah, as usual. I guess shout out to Mega Magwitch. I just saw something on Twitter today. He's taking a break from streaming. I believe he said it's to spend more time with his family. So, we'll miss you. He's definitely one of the more entertaining streamers. I still remember one night we rated his stream after the show, and I sat there till like 2:30 in the goddamn morning watching him play some. What the fuck was it? Was like something seducer.
Super Seducer.
Yeah.
That game.
That was
Oh my
fucking hilarious because you're like, he kept asking, he's like, who writes this stuff? And I'm like, dude, I don't know, but I'm
No,
pretty
it's
sure
It's
they've
the main
got-
character of that game. Is the guy who writes
Yeah.
it. They got the long hair.
I'm like,
That's
I'm
amazing.
pretty sure that this dude definitely has like pending rape charges somewhere.
Oh, for sure.
It was
Super
fucked
Seducer
up.
it's one of the most trash games on the planet.
All right.
But it was
Um,
funny as hell to sit there and laugh at it and make fun of it with him and a bunch of other people. So
Oh,
shout out
yeah.
to him.
Like watching a bad movie.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes,
shout out.
it was like video game Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yep.
It was great.
Yep.
I don't think I have any shout outs. I've just been playing single player. Shout out Harambe.
Harambe. May you never die in our hearts.
I was like, isn't he already dead?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Twitch chat. I saw Nate Fu in here. I saw Reeb in here. Bibble in here. I
Nikki.
know I'm missing Nikki. That's the one person. I was like, I'm missing somebody else.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Bibble always stops in and talks hockey with me, so that's always appreciated.
Yeah.
For sure.
You can find the band of the week at washers.bandcamp.com.
I'm
Go check
going
it
there
out.
right after the show.
Oh yeah, baby. $5 for that album. Go toss them the $5. It's good stuff for real. I mean, and the cool
Do
thing
it.
about Bandcamp is you can listen to it before you buy it.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
a really nice thing.
I don't know if we ever said that because some people might not be familiar with it. You can find me everywhere at Ben Malone. You can find the show at BarelyADS everywhere, except for our email, which is barelyadestinyshow@gmail.com. That's the legacy real life stuff.
Yep. We might have to change that anyway for Spotify.
Is it
I will say.
what is it, throwback for the long time listeners or Easter egg for long time listeners? Something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. Oh, by the way, Google Play's fixed.
Hooray! It took some emailing.
Yeah.
And luckily I actually checked our podcast account, or else I would have not been able to fix it. Actually, Steve did all the work for the most part. I just sent one email saying, this is the correct email tied to the account. You have my permission to change the email for the podcast to this.
Yeah. That we don't even host on your site. It was weird and
Right.
convoluted. So, but yeah, and you can find me everywhere at Xanapan711. Scott.
Mostly on Twitter. Lately, I've been in the garage a lot, completing Jeep projects. So, that's where I more or less am. At Slapshot Scott, Theos or Zeros. Shout out, as always, to the BADS community and my clan, IAP. We got some good people, so hop in the Discord.
Yeah,
Do it.
Do it.
Shout out to Tech Deck, making that good.
There you go.
Shout out to Reeb for playing with Tech Decks again.
Yeah. And you know what else? Shout out to cheeseburgers.
Yeah, let's get some cheeseburgers.
Peace out, y'all. Now let's clap again.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
Dope. All right. We're going to raid Grays.
Oh, I like that guy.
And then I'm going to go bed. So,
All right.
thanks everybody for hanging out. I'll catch y'all later. Bye.
Later.
Stop streaming.